Hello and welcome to another edition of our Wednesday webinar. You are here with us at Grand Canyon University's Canyon Professional Development. Boy, do we have a treat for you today. We have a very special guest who's going to talk to us about cultivating minds, community, and STEM education in the garden. Yes, you guessed it. We are talking about gardening and education with the one, the only, the famous master gardener herself, Kim Rillero. And she is not only a master gardener, but she's a program director for urban farming education. It is a pleasure to have Kim. Thank you so much for being on our Wednesday webinar today. Urban farming education has taken off like nobody's business. And I know why, because everybody likes to be in the garden, even me, who admittedly has a very brown thumb. I hope I can not only learn something for myself today, but most importantly, to learn something for teachers all over, teachers, administrators, support staff, who can really take kids to that new direction in education, hands-on, project-based, all the things that I know you do so well. So as we get started today, I would love for you to help us set the stage for our learning today and talk to us about this quote that you chose and tell us why.
Well, Corey, thank you so much for having me today. And it's a pleasure to be with all of you. And although it was hard to pick a quote, I do have to say that Audrey Hepburn just touches my heart with what she has said here. Gardening is the greatest tonic and therapy a human being can have. If we begin by respecting plants, it is inevitable we'll respect people. The picture is very touching to me as well, as those are my hands giving a little young preschooler a baby plant. And he had been so rambunctious and so excited for the day. Yet when I gave him that plant and said, Pumpkin, you have to be so careful with this, he became so calm and so respectful to that precious plant.
Oh my goodness. Well, that not only touches my heart, but it really speaks a lot to how children are very tactile and how if they learn to treat a plant with love and respect and kindness, then they absolutely will do that for other human beings. So thank you for teaching that kindness. And Kim, I'm excited to just learn alongside you today. So tell us where we're going, what we're going to talk about today as far as gardening in the classroom, or as we might say, outside of the classroom. I know you have a beautiful agave behind you. You're not in the garden today, but close with your garden look behind you. And I can't wait to talk a little bit about what you've done at Grand Canyon University as far as our garden is concerned. So tell us, where are we going and what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today I want to first start with why garden-based learning. What is the why? And what does a community look like when you're discussing your garden and the learning? And then I want you all to, if you don't take away anything, take away this. You start small. Just start. And then we always end with a bang because there is always something to celebrate. So let's get started.
I love it. All right. Talk to me about garden-based learning.
Well, of course, I could go on and on about why garden-based learning is perfect and everyone should do it and it should be in every classroom. However, we always need the support of the research, and we do have just two quotes really quick here. One about students from grades 3 through 5 who participated in hands-on garden programs, scored higher in science. No wonder. And then again, later on in 2013, how kids had such a positive academic outcome in not only science, but math and language arts due to garden-based learning.
And that therein lies the concept of why do it, because not only is it good for kids, but it's good for their learning. Fantastic. Exactly. So talk to me about community, because you do talk a lot about community education, which I really love, not just classroom education, but community education. What does that look like?
Well, Yes, a teacher can do it by themselves, or they could do it with one volunteer, say maybe a master gardener or a parent from the classroom. However, if you get a few people involved, not only does it make the work a little bit lighter, but it makes it a little bit more fun as well. And the more you get people involved, the more they talk about it, and then the more it just snowballs into a great environment for everyone. But then professional development and educational videos can also be community. Maybe you don't have someone that you can bring into your classroom. There are always educational videos, not only on YouTube, but in other different areas and arenas as well. We have a number of educational videos that you can look at on our website. And then I am so excited to tell you about professional development that we have started. Just last year, we began professional development for teachers.
So I'm really excited about that piece, but I'm going to push back just a little bit, Kim, because what happens if I'm a teacher in a classroom and I really want to start a school garden, but I kind of know in the back of my head, if I do this, it's all on me. And I have a lot of other things going on as a busy classroom teacher. So you do talk about starting with a parent, a teacher, or a staff member. Is it a good idea to start by myself as a teacher if I don't get any help right up front? What would you say to that?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that, because it is so true. It might be easier to start with someone, but if you have the passion, you can do it by yourself. But the key is to start small. And you can start in your classroom by germinating seeds just in the classroom. And then little bit by little bit adding to that. Just start small is the key.
Okay, that actually gives me just a really good perspective. You can do it, just don't go overboard.
Exactly.
So speaking of starting small, I would just need some help. So teacher professional development, I'm so excited that you have this, but talk to me about what's the curriculum that you offer from urban farming education.
So I just can hardly contain myself. I'm so excited about the different packages that we have. We have packages from preschool all the way through 12th grade. We have professional development that correlates with each of these different curriculum breakdowns so that the teachers come in and they become the student. And I work with them just like they will work with their students. And it is all scientific evidence supported with the workshops and all the science standards from, well, what we're going to start discussing is our program through K or 3 through 6. All of the science standards are touched upon, or we dig very deep into them through all the different curriculum.
Do you get high school students still interested, or did they kind of like, oh, it's a garden? Tell me a little bit. But I mean, I think the littles just obviously, I think playing with the worms. I remember I did that. I loved it. But what about when you get older? What have you seen?
It is so crazy because but one of my favorite experiences was working at Hope Academy, which is right downtown Phoenix, and it's a group of students who have been asked to leave their schools, and so they come to this school. And when I got there to teach gardening as an elective, oh my goodness, you should have seen the look on the kids' faces. And I thought, what have I gotten myself into? And then we start talking about little radish seeds, and it's like, oh, okay, they like radishes, and in 7 weeks we can be harvesting these radishes. Corey, I have to tell you that I had kids that were not coming to school any other day of the week except garden days. And so it kind of started linking. Okay, if you want to be able to go to your garden elective, you have to come in. So you know what?
Wow.
We've got little preschoolers, and you saw his little hand, holding my little plant I was giving him, all the way to high schoolers saying, Miss Kim, what are we going to learn today?
I'm so excited to hear that. I mean, it makes sense, hands-on and all that good stuff. So tell us about the many signs of success.
Okay, so still talking about the teacher professional development and then how they can take it to their classroom. We give them a post survey and ask them, did they learn and whatnot. And it's just amazing how the teachers were like, oh my gosh, the knowledge that I built during this time and the skills I developed, not only with seeds, but with vermicomposting and sprouting. And I do have to tell you that the little guy on the right of the screen with his pumpkin, that was one of my teachers, Michelle, that was just in the Tucson professional development class that I had this spring. She went, started the pumpkin seeds in July. Once the kids got there in August, they started taking care of them, and they just harvested over 38 pumpkins.
Oh
and
my gosh.
she was texting me and said, Kim, I can't get them out of the garden. We're having writing class in there. We're having all sorts of education just in the garden.
That cracks me up, but it makes sense. And how cool is that at Halloween time, for example, or Dia de los Muertos, and they have their own calabacitas or their own calabazas, their own pumpkins. I mean, that is pretty spectacular.
Sure.
I just and you can just see it all on his face, can't you? All right, tell what's our plot of sunshine? This is the 7-week class. Okay, I need to know these lessons, or I need to know, because again, I've got the brown thumb, so help me out, Kim.
Okay, there's no such thing as a brown thumb, first of all, but this is something I'm very proud and excited about. This is our 7-week curriculum for 3rd through 6th grade. However, I've had teachers all the way from kindergarten through physics in 12th grade who have taken this professional development to use with their students. This is the 7-week program for the students. They are given a partner, and they are given a 1 square foot plot of land. And they have a project where they need to plan what they're going to plant, then observe, then document, then graph. Then within 7 weeks, we are harvesting all wonderful toppings for a wonderful culminating tostada party at the end.
A tostada party. I love it. That's
amazing. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
So the students are excited, and not only do we do this project-based learning, but also the students have smaller problem-based hands-on activities that go on throughout the 7 weeks. So on the left, you'll see where they're observing roots, and we're asking them, what does a root do? Why does a plant need a root? What does surface area have to do with a root? And I'm sure you're wondering at the bottom, that great big ball of flame, what in the world does that ball of flame have to do with surface area?
Or gardening in general. I think a lot of kids might wonder, wait a minute, we don't want fire near the garden. Hold on.
Exactly. Well, you need to take the PD or have this curriculum in your classroom to find out. Over on the right-hand side, we have another small little project-based learning going on at the same time, and this is vermicomposting, where the kiddos take composting worms and bedding, and then they make their own habitat and watch the worms and all their community that's underneath the soil work to decompose all of that to make a great soil amendment.
Oh my gosh. So you had me as a STEM instructor, you had me when you said they graph. So not only do they graph, but they analyze their graphs, my guess
is? They sure do. They sure do. And we discuss what's more important. Do we need a line graph or do we need a bar graph? And what's the difference between the two? And some kids had never even, what's the difference between the two? We talk about qualitative and quantitative. And what is the qualitative evidence that we're collecting here? What is the quantitative?
Wonderful. That's just music to my ears. And I love the fact that you celebrate. So I see celebration in this in this picture here.
There is celebration and celebrating going on all the time. One photo that didn't get in here, I think it's on a previous slide, but we had a little girl and she had a little ladybug on her finger. And I am telling you, there were 32 students celebrating that ladybug. It just is amazing. What we have here are some of the harvests that we've had. You've got the little gals up in the corner and they were making salad because we were going to have all different salad dressings that they were going to test because we had grown the herbs. So not only did we grow the lettuce, but they grew the herbs and they were going to do a taste test. The picture on the right is of teachers that have just gone through the 7-week professional development Our Plot of Sunshine program. And this is them coming out to the garden on the 7th week to start harvesting their food. The looks were, I mean, I have goosebumps right now just thinking about how excited adults were at the garden that they were looking at.
This is fabulous. Well, I can't wait to take the PD myself. But I know that you're going to do something very kind for our audience as far as something to give away, a giveaway for free, what you can use in your classroom tomorrow. So tell me a little bit about that after this awesome.
Thank you. As I said at the beginning, I had a hard time deciding on the quote that I wanted to use because the other quote that I love as well is the Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. And for all of you who want to be that teacher, the one that can add gardening into your classroom and have standards being ticked off of your to-do list, we have provided for you that first step. And that first step is learning what a radish does underneath the soil as it begins to germinate. So we would love for you to go ahead and click on our calendar and you will be linked then to the area where you can get the lesson plan for the rapid radish.
I just took a picture. I went straight to the calendar and I'm going to get a free radish lesson plan and I'm going to sign up for the PD because I just want to be in nature. I want to just be in the garden. It sounds like a beautiful thing to me. And we're blessed to be in Arizona. A lot of the time of the year, we can be outside in the garden. So thank you so much. Thank you for leaving us with your social media links here. So folks, go ahead and scan these QR codes to connect with Kim and her team at farming education, United Farming Education. No, I got that wrong. Urban Farming Education. Make sure that you connect so that you can also do that 7-week program. Kim, I know I took away a whole ton. One of the things I really took away is the fact that your students, not only in teacher professional development, but your students are having to graph, analyze that data, and be able to utilize the data so that they can own something of their own, which is that plot of dirt. So thank you so much for that takeaway for me. And that's just my takeout slide there. And I want to remind everyone of our why. We are here to empower, educate, and inspire our community so they take action to fulfill their purpose and to serve one another. Thank you, folks, for being with us today with Kim. And I know that Kim and Urban Farming Education will absolutely connect with you if you want to connect with them. Connect with us on social so that we can bring more people like this to our Wednesday webinar and our Wednesday Wonder series. Subscribe now for more professional development here at Canyon Professional Development at Grand Canyon University. Kim, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye now.
All right, let me go ahead and stop this recording so that